Welcome again, everybody, and thank you for joining our global webinar day on Trouble Ticketing System Integration with Infosim StableNet. My name is Dietmar Kneidl, Director of Sales Europe with Infosim, and I will be your moderator for today's event. Joining us from our office in Würzburg, Germany is my colleague Vlad Singeorzan. He's a senior developer and consultant with Infosim and has been with us for almost 3 years now. And he is, among other things, one of our specialists regarding the integration of ticketing systems. So, good afternoon, Vlad.
Good afternoon, Dietmar.
Okay, glad you're here. You have me worried for a second. Well,
I'm here, no worries.
Okay, good, excellent. That's what I like to hear. Before I hand over to Vlad, I just wanted today's audience to know that all of you are automatically put on mute in order to keep down the background noise. So for us to be able to answer your questions, please type them in the questions or chat window at the bottom of the GoToWebinar application. We will be answering all of your questions either directly in the chat or at the end of today's webinar in our Q&A session. Also, please be advised that this event is being recorded and all of you will be notified via email tomorrow on how to access that recording. Well, that's all from my end so far, so I'd like to go ahead and turn things over to our presenter, Vlad Singeorzan. Vlad, you ready to take over?
I'm ready, thank you, Dietmar.
Excellent.
Thank you for the introduction. I'd just like to take the opportunity to say hello to all of our participants on our webinar today. And as Dietmar introduced already, the topic will be Trouble Ticketing System Integration. And during our webinar, we will first take a look at an overview of how the Trouble Ticketing Integration works with StableNet. Then we'll take a look to a topic that is related to this, namely automated root cause analysis, and show you how this helps to correlate alarms. Then we will show how these two concepts work together to make automated root cause ticket creation simple with Infosim StableNet. And to wrap up, I will show you a short live demo here on our demo system in Würzburg, where we integrated with the OTRS ticketing system. So when talking about trouble ticketing systems, one of the challenges you face is that there are many different trouble ticketing systems around. They have very different interfaces, use different data models, and in fact we've seen a lot of times in practice the same ticketing system, same vendor implemented very differently from customer to customer. The differences are so big most of the time that you don't even recognize it as being the same ticketing system. So this was one of the challenges we wanted to address when designing our new ticketing interface. On the other hand, we already had, or we have in StableNet, a very good root cause analysis, and this is one of the advantages we wanted to incorporate in the ticket creation feature to make automated root cause ticket creation possible. And taking this into account, we came up with a very flexible interface for ticketing systems where we use a wide range of protocols. We've integrated with ticketing systems that use web services as an interface. We have ticketing system integrated that use databases, files, or even some very custom, very specific script interface. The other thing that we wanted to provide, and we do with StableNet, is very simple ticket creation, and this is also strongly related to the root cause analysis, as I mentioned earlier. And last but not least, we wanted a ticketing interface that offers bidirectional communication with the ticket system, and we'll see in a few moments how this is realized so that you can update the ticket from StableNet and also are able to get updates for StableNet alarms from the ticketing system. we discussed earlier that the ticketing systems are very different, have different interfaces, so that's why our approach is to define the implementation and also the ticket creation logic, which has to be compliant with the internal processes together with the customer. And the end result will be a flexible bidirectional trouble ticketing system interface that will suit the customer's needs. The workflow of a usual trouble ticketing system interface is shown in the graphic below. So what happens is the trouble ticketing interface is deployed on the StableNet agents. So you have some kind of distributed system which offers advantages in case you have some failure, so there will not be a single point of failure. Even if one of your agents might be down, the other agents will still be running and you will still get tickets from those agents. This is also independent from the server, so the ticket interface will continue to run even if you have some issues with the StableNet server, for example. So whenever an alarm occurs on a StableNet agent, an event is triggered internally so that the ticket is created in the ticket system. Normally, when creating a ticket, you get a response from the ticket system, which will be some kind of acknowledgement, and this usually also includes the ticket number, for example. This ticket number will be then updated in the StableNet server to have it documented. Also, we know from practice that alarms can change, are pretty dynamic, so what you will have is symptoms changing, new symptoms being added to an existing alarm, symptoms going back to OK state, and in this case what we want to do is to update the ticket in the ticket system. All these events I mentioned are triggered automatically by an alarm on the StableNet agent. Besides this, we have some operations which are available asynchronously. For the ticket system, for example, there's the possibility to update or clear an alarm. This would include, for example, adding a comment from the ticket system, or if the ticket is closed, you may have the option to clear the alarm in StableNet. But in this case, you have to remind that if the technical cause of the alarm is still present, the alarm will just pop up again, of course, when the new measurement will be running. The ticket system also has the possibility to query the state of an alarm at any time. And from StableNet, there's also the possibility to view the ticket in a web browser if the ticket system provides a web interface, which can be quite convenient for the operators using StableNet. This makes it quite easy to just take a look at the ticket by clicking in the StableNet GUI. No need to copy and paste the ticket number into the ticket system or something like this. So to round up the functionality of our ticketing interface, we provide automatic or manual ticket creation based on StableNet alarms, and in fact also a hybrid solution is possible where you can create tickets both automatic and manual. When creating tickets automatically, you are of course able to filter on StableNet monitor categories or have severity filters for alarms or something like this. So you could have a setup where tickets are created automatically for alarms with severity major or higher, and tickets can be created manually for all other alarms, for example. There is also the possibility to filter on reachability or availability alarms and only create tickets for those alarms automatically, for example. Also, there is the possibility to communicate bidirectionally between ticket system and the StableNet, meaning that every time an alarm update occurs, the ticket is updated in the ticket system, and also the ticket system has an interface to update the alarms in StableNet when required. And last but not least, there is the possibility to query the status of an alarm in StableNet from the ticketing system whenever this is needed. This will round up the introduction of the ticketing system, and we'll go on to take a look at how root cause analysis works in StableNet. We have in fact a very good automated root cause analysis, and I would like to show this on the next few slides. What you see here is a picture of our lab here in Würzburg on the left side. On the right lower side you see the inventory graph in StableNet, and I've marked on the two pictures one port in one of our switches here and the respective link which is shown in the inventory graph. Now you see the setup is quite complex. Behind this link we have a handful of devices, and what we did is we just unplugged the cable for that link, and you see you have an alarm for that interface in StableNet. The link is marked red, and all the devices that are behind that link are unreachable. Now, in a normal setup without root cause analysis, you would get a large number of alarms. In StableNet with automatic root cause analysis, we identify the root cause of all these alarms, which is this link failure, and correlate all these alarms together. And to do this, we discover the dependencies in the network automatically, so that you don't need to define any rules. So absolutely no manual interaction needed. In some cases you might want to add dependencies by hand. This is possible, you can add rules, but this is not a requirement. If you don't add any rules, all the dependencies will be discovered automatically from your network. Based on these dependencies that we discover, our automated root cause analysis will correlate the alarms, and you will only get one accurate alarm in this case, which is the correctly computed root cause. So for this example, you get, as you see here on the lower side of the slide, you get one alarm with 9 symptoms, so no individual alarms for the devices that are behind that link, but one alarm for the link, and all other alarms which are caused by this link failure will just be symptoms of this root cause alarm. Now, of course, with the ticketing interface, we want to combine these features so that we use the ticket interface together with the root cause, so that we provide you with the possibility to automatically create root cause tickets. In this case, the automatic root cause analysis will determine the root cause of any failure with automatic correlation of the alarms that we see in StableNet. This means that there is no need for correlation on the trouble ticketing system side, which also saves a lot of effort because you don't need to define any alarm correlation rules on trouble ticketing system side. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't even need to define them in StableNet because we discover all dependencies automatically. Now we also know that alarms can be dynamic, so things change in networks. You have devices that go down, some services may go up again, and so on. So every time an update occurs, you want this update to be pushed to the ticketing system, and this is also possible with our automated root cause ticket creation. So every time a symptom is added to the root cause alarm, or a symptom goes from alarm to OK state, the ticket system will be notified, so you will have the current status of the alarm in the ticket system at all time. And I would like to show the ticket integration and the root cause ticket creation in the demo, which will follow now. So I will switch briefly to the StableNet GUI. So this is one of our demo systems here in Würzburg, and you see we have the measurement tree here, we have the open alarms view, and we've implemented a ticket integration with our OTRS ticketing system, where we create automatically tickets for alarms with severity major and higher, and also have the possibility to create tickets manually for all other alarms. Let me just refresh the view for a second. And here we have, for example, an alarm that has been already created. This has been an outage, simulated outage on one of our routers here in Würzburg. You see the monitor which is affected, which is the root cause. This is the ping monitor actually for our Berlin router here in Würzburg. And you see also all the data which has been forwarded to the ticketing system, which includes all the alarm information in StableNet, meaning the root cause, symptom, and also all the category data, device data, and so on, which is available for the alarm in StableNet. So this was the first alarm that was pushed to the ticketing system, and for all other symptoms that went to alarm as well, we get updates. So you see the end result would be a root cause alarm with a handful of symptoms. And in fact, in this case we get one update for each symptom that has been added, but this is fully customizable, so we can this can be implemented in a fashion that suits your use case. So you could just get, for example, the alarm updates as a batch. Now, I also want to show this practically to you, so not only tickets that have been created already, but we want to see the ticket creation live. So what I've done here, I've changed the settings for the Berlin router for this demonstration so that we have higher measurement frequency, and for the correlation, some of you might know the grace time, and the grace time of the monitors is very important, so I lowered this as well to make everything happen faster. And what I will do is I will just clear this alarm for a second manually, and then we'll just wait for the alarm to pop up again. It should take about 1 minute or so. And as soon as this alarm event will be generated, we will also see the ticket being created in the ticketing system. Just looking for the action events. The GUI takes some time to update, of course. So we already have a grace time event here on the monitor, so the alarm will come up shortly. In the meantime, let me show you one of the other features that are available in StableNet, meaning that we can create tickets manually. I told you, or what we can also do, we can take a look at tickets that have been already created from StableNet directly in the ticket system. This is very simple, just one click. We can click View Ticket, and the ticket will be opened in the ticketing system. No need to copy and paste alarm or ticket number and switch between applications. This all works with just a few clicks. The other option I mentioned is creating alarms manually. So let us just, tickets of course, let us just pick an alarm. For example, this one, we can just select create ticket. We see in this case that the ticket has been created. We have a ticket number stored in StableNet, and also the user who created the ticket automatically acknowledges the alarm. And what we can do now, we can just switch to the ticket and see it in the ticketing system. So we see here the time is right now 15:22, and we see the alarm details right here. Now let's check if in the meantime we have the alarm for Berlin. Yes, we do. So we have a root cause alarm with 10 symptoms for our Berlin router, and the ticket should also be there. Now let's just check. Yes, so here we have it, the automatically created ticket for the Berlin router, and again, as in the case I showed you before, we have one entry for the root cause, and then we have alarm updates for each one of the symptoms with all information of the StableNet alarms. If we take a look at the last entry, we see the root cause, all of the symptoms, and all information from StableNet on the alarms. So this would sum up the short demonstration I prepared. Dietmar, do we have any questions?
Actually, we do. Thank you very much for that live demonstration so far, Vlad. Actually, the same question that came from our audience this morning when we did the first webinar for the Asia Pacific region has popped up again, and it evolves around the ticketd.jar and ticketd.properties file. Question was, how do we access those? How can those be modified?
Okay, good question. So I mentioned earlier the ticket creation logic and implementation is usually defined together with the customer. This means that we implement and prepare special ticket interface for each one of the customers, and from a technical perspective, this includes the jar file, ticketd jar that Dietmar just mentioned, and a settings file which is called ticketd.properties. And these files, since they are customer specific, are also of course only available to the customer concerned, and the normal way to get them is via our download portal, where we have the public section and also have the private section where each customer can see his personalized downloads. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe one other interesting technical aspect. Some of you might know the agent repository feature. I mentioned earlier the ticket interface is installed on all agents. Now if you have a large number of agents, you might think this might be a headache, but as you can with scripts, for example, you can deploy the ticket interface on all agents using the StableNet GUI with our agent repository feature. So you just need to copy the two files on the StableNet server, synchronize your agents, and then all the agents will get the correct ticket interface.
Okay, thanks for that update as well. Vlad, now maybe I need to add something from the commercial point of view. Of course, ticket integration is a separate StableNet module that needs to be licensed separately. So you would need to talk to your Infosim contact if that is a feature you would want to use with one of your customers' installation or your own installation. Another question that actually comes up pretty much with every webinar we're doing, a question if the presentation slides Vlad has used for this webinar are available, and of course they are available. Just send us a quick email either to myself or to Vlad. I've posted both of our email addresses in the chat, and we'll make those available for you. Also, and that has been another question that was asked during your presentation, Vlad, if we have more information on the OTRS integration. Obviously, some of our audiences have that system in use, and yes, we have of course more information. There's more to know that we can show in just these 30-minute sessions we're doing. You just please let us know your interest, and then we'll get to you and we'll agree on a date and time for a more detailed web session. That is of course valid for all questions you might have around any StableNet related topics. And there is more information available on our website. Vlad, if you would kindly advance to the next slide, which should be the thank you slide. So thank you again very much, Vlad. And we have a little overview about the resources we have available at our website. There is more information there for you to find. So please help yourself and educate yourself about various other topics with StableNet. So thank you very much, Vlad, for your presentation and live demo. There is no other questions for the time being, at least none we haven't answered yet. So I wanted to thank everybody again for joining our session today. As I've mentioned earlier, a recording of this webinar will be made available to all of you tomorrow via email. And we will keep this session open for a few more minutes in case anyone from our audience decides to type in a final question, which we of course then will attend to. Oh, and by the way, when leaving this webinar, you will be presented with a short questionnaire that helps us to improve our webinars and also to pick the right topics for future webinars. So please take a minute of your time and answer those 4 or 5 questions. Thank you very much in advance. Vlad, any final words from you?
Just thank you everybody for your attention and have a nice day.
Okay, well, guess that's all from us today then. Thank you very much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.